The year 1359, the world of Endolin. The Black Prince of Faldonia and 5,000 Faldonian men were marching towards the ancient city of Stonemer. Their goal? Wipe it off of the map. The Black Prince, also known as Prince Ravenine V of Faldonia, was merciless towards his enemies. His 5,000 men were trained to show no mercy to anyone that came in their path. After a 30 days march to the city of Stonemer, they were met with high resistance from the forestmen. These were the ancient guardians of Stonemer. After the falcons suffered severe casualties, they turned around and trampled the forestmen. The forestmen had fallen, and Stonemer was now in the hands of Prince Ravenine. Not yet satisfied with his conquest, the Black Prince met up with the Golden Queen of Ashen, known for her powerful spells and mighty paladins. He knew that he would need an ally to be able to take on the true strength of Lion's Fort. She accepted, in exchange that she gets all of the enchanted books and spells of the land, and he claims the throne. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. Just 3 days after their victory in Stonemer, the Black Falcon and Ashen forces had arrived at Halbertia. Known for its high walls and mighty knights, it would be a posing threat to the Black Falcons if they weren't to take it out now. The perfect time was now. Their queen was there in charge while the king was on his own campaign off the continent. The Black Prince saw his opportunity to attack. Although his men were exhausted from the march, he decided to continue with the attack. This was a grave mistake. The mighty knights of Halbertia tore through his ragged men. They quickly began to fall to the spear and shield, and they were beginning to discover the strength of Halbertia. But all of this fighting was just the beginning, because once they had defeated the Black Falcon forces, they were already exhausted, and that meant it was finally time to bring in the Ashen paladins. The paladins made easy work of these exhausted knights. They did fight bravely, but in the end, they were either all killed or yielded to the mighty sword of Ashen. The Queen of Halbertia offered to surrender in exchange that her remaining troops and civilians would be spared from the sword. Of course, the Queen of Ashen accepted this surrender and let them live. Now they had to set their sights on the next greatest achievement: capturing the great city of Lion's Fort. Many times had the Faldonians attempted to storm the city, but this time would hopefully, for their sakes, be the last they failed. With the help of Ashen, the Black Prince was confident in their victory. While the Black Prince was capturing Halbertia in the north end of the continent, the House of Stonemer was in ruins, and House Thornfield was planning to recapture it. Thornfield, known for their skill with the longbow and strength with the sword and pike, were not someone to be messing with, and they were close allies with Stonemer, just across the wild river from them. The Thornfield house began their onslaught of arrows, crushing the fortifications of Stonemer and causing the Faldonian garrison to surrender within just an hour. They had reclaimed House Stonemer, now aware of the Black Prince's intentions to claim all of Endolin for themselves, they knew they needed to help defend Lionsfort from his onslaught. When news reached Prince Ravenine of his cowardly garrison, he knew he must return to defend his homeland, because that would be where the Thornfield house would strike again. But without the help of Ashen, he didn't know how or when they would attack, and he didn't know if he would survive it, so he needed an ally. When the Faldonian messenger arrived at the Wolf King's tower, they told her to wait outside, for they were already in a meeting. Little did the Faldonians know it was a meeting with their own enemy. Once they let the Faldonian messenger in, she discussed that they wanted their help to fight against the Lion Knights. The Wolf King himself was one of the biggest enemies of the Lion King, but he had other alliances. 3 weeks before the Battle of Lionsfort, the king of the wolf packs met up with none other than King Halbertia of Halbertia, who had returned from his overseas campaign, ready for revenge on Faldonia's Black Prince. They both hated Faldonia, but they hated the Lion Knights even more. Well, one of them did. I bet you can guess who that is. So, hearing of the Faldonians' plans to attempt to capture Lionsfort, they knew that whether they liked it or not, they would have to help the King of the Lions if they wanted to get revenge on the Black Prince. The Black Prince had arrived back at Faldonia, only to find that the rest of the Faldonian army, along with the Duke of Faldonia, was already marching all the way to Lionsfort. They were halfway there, and he knew he must aid them, for their army was only half of what he owned. The stage was set. The Halbertians, Wolfpack, and Lion Knights were all defending Lionsfort, along with Thornfield, who were going to attack the Black Prince. There's a whole series on Lionsfort, which I will pin at the end of the video. But, to sum it all up, the Black Falcon's first wave of attack was mowed down by the Wolfpack, and the Wolf King himself took down their officer. The battle was brutal, and it already showed that the Black Falcons were suffering heavy losses. Lionsfort was a formidable fortress, but when the second wave had arrived, the Black Prince was almost there, and they heard from the messengers that he'd be within the next day. So they were able to, with high morale and a small reinforcement, take over Lionsfort and claim it for their own. But the Black Prince hadn't arrived there yet, and the Thornfield house had intercepted him. They were about to battle, but instead of fighting, they decided to unite their armies to stand a chance against the Lion King, along with the Wolf King and Halbertia. With this new alliance, the Black Prince and the King of Thornfield would be able to rule pretty much all of Endolin. Thornfield House would try and control the southern part, while the Faldonians would control the east and north. The only problem was the west, controlled by the Lion Knights King. While Faldonia is now one of the most powerful, just behind the Lions. They were a formidable fight, but eventually the Faldonians gave up on attacking the Lion Knights and became their allies. Endolin has much more history and some yet to be made. For instance, to the northwest was the camp of wild people. They were run by a half-lizard, half-dragon-born leader who would ride a small wingless dragon around. Legend has it that they have a base on one of these outer islands, but nobody yet knows, for they are unexplored to the main kingdoms of the realm. There were only 2 more notable wars on the realm of Endolin since the current day of 1658. One between Ashen and the northern tribes. This war led to the ultimate defeat and scattering of the northern tribes, many fleeing off the continent and others just integrating themselves into already large houses such as Thornfield, Stonemer, and Halbertia. Another war between the King of the Wolves and the Ashen House led to the destruction of half of the Ashenvalian army and the execution of the other half. But 180 years later, they were no more heirs left for the Lion Knight's throne. This was the chance the Faldonian king, the Black Prince number 6, was waiting for. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment what I should do with these other 2 islands. They could be a stronghold for the scattered northern tribes, or maybe even a secret land known to no one other than the wizards. But if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching.